It's the Extra Point with Mark Bunch Bishop and DC Notre Dame College Extra Point. And joining me today, yes indeed, the men's swimming and diving coach, Mark Dziak, local guy in Lakewood. I got to tell you something, Coach. That's a great pool at Lakewood High School, and apparently it was a great pool for you, as it spurred a pretty darn good career early on for you.
Oh yeah, it was great growing up there. I mean, I think it was built in the late '80s. 8-lane pools, got a separate diving well. Fantastic place to swim and compete and learn my trade.
Case Western Reserve was your school of choice, and it's interesting because I've told my kids too, is that yeah, you're close to home, but still you've got studies, you've got swimming, you've got things of that, so it wasn't like you were running home every day or something like that.
I lived on campus, and I tell everyone, it felt like I was a million miles away because I was so invested in studies and obviously my role on the team as well.
After your science and engineering degree from Case, you go to. It's okay, you went to Michigan State.
Yes,
now,
Spartans.
It was the other school.
Go Green.
I'd be yelling at Barsh, Andy Barsh, voice of the Falcons, saying, what are you doing? Set me up with a guy who wears maize and blue, but green and white is okay in my book.
Good. Sounds good to hear. Yeah, I spent 2 years there getting a master's degree. Was able to work with their team as well on a volunteer basis. Got a master's degree in kinesiology. So,
Coach, all of a sudden, you got degrees.
Yes.
Science, engineering, kinesiology.
Yes.
When did the coaching bug hit you? Because I guarantee you this. You've got to love what you're doing. And I don't mind saying this. I've always said, love what you're doing first. Because I would guess, and I should be a very educated guess, that if you were doing something else on your degrees, the paychecks may be a little bit higher on
yes.
So you have a love for what you're doing.
Right.
Be blunt.
It's one of those things, you get involved in athletics at a young age and you want to give back. And, at one point in my career, I said, when I was young, I said I'd like to pursue this on a full-time basis. And, particularly at the college level, I like the college level athlete because you can see them as they develop from when they were maybe 6 or 17 when you recruit them to when they graduate at, 22, 23. And so I really like that.
Coach, also looking around at your tenure in coaching this net, you coached at West Virginia Wesleyan. 16 of the swimmers, all West Virginia Intercollegiate Athletic Conference honors, 24 school records. It's not just recruiting swimmers to come and swim. It's also what you do and how you coach them and how you teach them. So what I'm finding out right now, it's a sport that as you watch, is certainly, and I love it. How many stopwatches do you have on you right now? 2 or 3?
Actually, you know what? I don't have any. I left them in the office, yes. But usually I have at least a minimum of 2 in my pocket.
I would say a swimming coach has to have them, but I'm sure you could look at somebody right from the get-go and say, wow, I can shave a 10th off of this, I can shave a 10th off of that. Then it's up to them to implement that. I just love that. Like, are you ever stuck in traffic thinking, man, if I go just a little bit faster, I can get 10
Yes,
things
I always got that stopwatch, timing whatever it is, my commute home to the west side. But yeah, I like what you were saying. What things I always tell my athletes is that we give you the tools. But, in a sport like swimming, you have to make that decision every day to listen to your coaches and do what they ask of you to make yourself better.
Mark Dziak, the men's swimming and diving coach, and women's.
And women's, yes.
I'm getting them both in there. I should say women's first because the women's team has been around since 06.
Correct.
Men's has been added 08, 09. You might say, well, much we've got 7 years for that. But still, relative pups when it comes to D2 and relative pups to compete at the collegiate level.
Oh, yeah, certainly. You look at a lot of the programs that have been around for maybe 50, 60 years. We don't have that tradition and that history. But if you look in the short amount of times that we've had a program, we've been able to create and develop a good number of athletes, and we've had a chance to achieve success as well. If you look at this past year, our women won their conference title by 4 points, which was a huge accomplishment, the first time they had ever done that. So that was a good feather in our cap.
That is the Appalachian Swimming Conference, originally an AIA Division II during the summer of 2012, so just your second year in there. But when you're doing recruiting, when you're looking, again, it's not a dirty word. College vie for athletes, student athletes, to come and you make sure that their grade point averages and what they're doing in the classroom is academically sound. But the bottom line is it has to make a world of difference as you compete up the ladder that the athletes you're going to get.
Oh yeah, and we're looking to bring in the top quality recruits that we can. Because I have goals for our program. It's not just winning conference titles, but it's getting national exposure, competing at the Division II meet on a yearly basis, and getting to the point where we're competing at a top 10 national level program. Whether that takes 2 years or 10 years, but that's obviously my goal as I head up this program.
Coach, you talk about diving. You have one diver
Yes.
at this time. Looking at building that part of the program also?
Yes, we're in a unique situation where our facility here on campus actually does not have diving boards. So our divers that we do have, they go over to John Carroll and they practice over there. And so, a lot of the times the two everything is grouped together, but it's very unique. Divers do not do the same thing that swimmers do. And so, that's definitely one area that we can certainly maximize because it's a way to bring in points into our team for dual meets and championship meets as well.
Years ago, and she was a bronze medal winner in the LA Games of the Olympics. One of the Ohio State divers, Kelly McCormick, was a dear friend. And she used to downplay it and say, well, what do you do? She goes, I walk to the end of a platform. I've been doing it since I was 3 years old, and I jump off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you can't describe it like that. There's more to it than that. Yeah. But that was her mindset.
Yeah, and either of us, we can go up to a 10-meter platform, and we're going to be scared out of our mind.
Oh, yeah, I'm not driving. I'm jumping. I'm telling you, okay? I'm jumping.
And to be able to have that body control, to be able to the twists and the turns as well off the boards, and be able to hit the water in a straight line in a clean dive. It is hard. It's very difficult.
Coach Mark Dziak, men's and women's swimming and diving coach for Notre Dame College. I got to hit you with this, Coach. I don't mind telling you this. Is that around my house, you can walk around, and if you would hit the remote controls on most of the TVs, one will be on Fox Sports, one will be on Sports 10 Ohio, one will be on ESPN, one will be on ESPN2, one will be on Fox Sports 1, that kind of thing. And there's Sports Illustrated, ESPN magazines scattered all around the house. But I also, what I call is I take a break on occasion, and I will read a book. It has nothing to do with sports. It's just finishing up for the umpteenth time To Kill a Mockingbird, one of my favorites. But conversely, because I talk sports and live sports, and that's what I do. Conversely, being a swimming coach, are you able to jump in a pool to just go for a swim and relax, or when you jump in, are you working?
No, if you look at my career, I'm retired. I haven't competed in a number of years, and when the few chances I do get a chance to hop in the pool is usually just for relaxation. Also, being 10 years since I've graduated college, I'm not nearly at the level where I was, so it's just purely for enjoyment. And it's always nice to be able to get in some laps when you have an opportunity to.
Coach, why did I ask you this? Is that I had a daughter who rode in high school, and it was crazy amount of running that they put into it, hitting the old erg machine. What kind of workouts for swimmers, other than being in the pool, integral? Is running part of it? What other things, machine-wise?
Yeah, we do a little bit of running just for basic conditioning, but I'm a big believer in weights. We're actually here in the mornings, 4 mornings a week from 7 to 8.
Wow.
Yeah, in the weight room, we've got 2 days of weights where it's, all sorts of body weight exercises. We're starting to incorporate some more of the Olympic style lifts into our routine as well, because swimming is a full body workout. And so there's a lot of those exercises that can translate directly into the, in the pool as well. And then we do general, what we call dry land, because it's out of the pool. We can do stretches, we can do body weight exercises, circuit stuff as well. So it's, to build strength, and particularly in our upper body. Shoulders are not meant to do all the yards that we do in the pool, so we want strong upper body, to be able to, do all the training that we do.
Coach Mark Dziak, the men's and women's swimming and diving coach. Coach, I'm enjoying this because I love learning about sports that, I watch in the Olympics, or watch if I'm somewhere on a college campus. My son goes to Denison, and Denison swimming that weekend or something of that ilk. But what is the swimming season? Is it in the spring, or is it now?
No, it's technically a winter sport.
Okay.
But we've been
January, February, March kind
of winter, actually, our first meet is 2 weeks from Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So October, November, December, and our conference meet is in February, and then for those swimmers that make nationals, it's in March. But I know there's teams that have already started swimming meets already. We've been practicing since the beginning of September. So it really runs, from the beginning of the school year till middle of February or so.
Coach, do you compete? Are your matches, your meets right here on campus?
Yes, we do. Our home meets are here on campus. We do have the, pool here, and it's great to be able to have that home facility. I know the football team, until we got these beautiful new fields here, they didn't have that opportunity. The soccer teams as well. So, it was one of those benefits that we did have, prior to the new fields coming on.
Well, now we can say the pride of Lakewood, the pride of Case Western, and now the pride of Notre Dame College, men's swimming and diving coach Mark Dziak. Thanks so much for spending time with us today, and we'll be keeping an eye on those waterbound Falcons, all righty?
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure, Coach. Coach Mark Dziak, the Extra Point, NDC. Gotta love it. Go Falcons. Mark Bunch Bishop.